Hi everybody, I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. I am a soul therapist and an intuitive that connects with the angelic energy, and I help the helpers, the healers, and the light bringers of this world to live their most magical life. If you are watching the replay on my YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button below so that you can get notifications for all the videos that I'm sharing here on this channel. If you aren't following me on my Facebook, if you like to do the live videos, I tend to do them here on Facebook. So it's going to be under the same name. You're just going to want to follow me under the same name, under Christy Waters Forsyth. So let's talk about this week's energy. So we're going to be talking about the weekly energy, what to expect, and essentially how we can make the most of it, how we can best navigate it so that we can have our most successful week. I think that it's really important for people who are energy sensitive, especially, to have an understanding on what is going on with the energy, because when we have an understanding, number one, we can use it to have the best week possible, but also it just kind of helps us to understand that we're not alone in the things that we're experiencing. So this is, it's a challenging energy in some ways, but it's also really magical in a lot of ways. I've had a lot of people contact me and just say, this is a lot. I have a lot going on. It's been a very stressful week for a lot of people and a very stressful time period. We've been working through a lot as a collective. And I think that it's really important that we understand that this is all purposeful. I have been talking for a while now about this energy that I'm feeling around the solstice as we get toward the end of December, that really being this opening for this new chapter in our lives. And is that going to begin like that day immediately? Maybe, but I also feel like it's kind of a slow transition into that, and we're preparing for that transition now. And how we're preparing for that transition, I've been using the description of preparing for an energetic move. And we're needing to kind of go through our things and decide what is coming with us into this new chapter and what is staying behind. And part of what's needing to happen is we're dealing with the emotional leftovers of what it is that we're needing to work through. So you may find that there are things coming up. And specifically, I feel like the universe is providing us the answer this week to what am I avoiding? What have I been avoiding? Just today, I had a situation where something that is like very stressful to me that I just honestly wanted to put my head in the sand in and not deal with really came to the surface today and essentially begged me to give it attention. And it's something I didn't want to do. And I found it really stressful. But you know what? I've already got the wheels in motion. I'm taking action. I'm getting things moving because it needs to get taken care of, right? And I feel like right now, that is the energy of us tying up loose ends, taking care of the things that we need to be taking care of. Essentially, we are alchemizing the things that are coming up. We are using it and we are turning it into something great. I really want to just kind of project out energetically into the new year, because at this point, that's not that far away. And as we get to the very end of December, we are going into Mercury retrograde. Why is this important? This is important because we are currently in energy that is moving forward. We are currently in energy where we can be taking action, where we can be tying up loose ends, where we can be getting stuff done, especially those things that we've been avoiding, those things that we don't necessarily want to do and we would prefer to avoid. Now is the time to do it, because we are going to feel as we step into that new year, not very New Year's-y. It's going to feel like we're stuck in the mud. It's going to feel like things aren't moving as quickly as they typically are. And that's because when we're in a Mercury retrograde, it's a time period for us to slow down and reflect. And the universe sort of forces our hand a bit with that. And it's not a great time to get started on things. So it's going to be so important right now to be taking action on the things that you're feeling called to take action on. And do not wait until the new year. It's really easy. I really wanted to, this thing that came up today, I really wanted to be like, no, like I'm busy. December is really busy for me. I have a lot going on. I could have made a million excuses to push that out into January and been able to justify it. But it's like the universe is saying, we got to address this now. It's time to address it. It's time to stop avoiding it. And I think that I'm watching that happen with the people that I'm working with as well, with my clients. They have things coming up where it's like, nope, you got to do this now. It's time to take action. And I suppose you can put that aside and that'll come up again later. But there's a real opportunity right now to take these things that are annoying or that we're avoiding and alchemize that into something great. And that's going to be really, really the key, is to take this stuff and use it for something good. Use it to progress, use it to grow, use it to bring us strength. So the next question is, how do I use this? How can I use this? Okay, this sucks. Okay, I don't like this. It's coming up for me. Okay, I don't like that I'm being triggered by this. How do I use it? How do I take something terrible and turn it into something amazing that supports me and helps me as I move into my future? This is also showing us the things that are coming up this week are showing us the leftovers, are showing us the loose ends, are showing us what we need to address before we get to the end of December. That, to me, the end of December is more like the New Year energy than the New Year energy is going to be. I think it's going to start to feel like an opening. So what do you need to say? What do you need to take care of? Who do you need to connect with? What needs to be moving forward? What actions are you feeling called to take? That's really important. I also had something come up in a session today that I thought was really cool, and I feel called to share it because I think that it's going to be a nice technique as we are identifying those things that aren't coming with us in this energetic move. So that's part of what's happening right now too, is we are becoming aware of what isn't going to belong as we shift into this next level of our lives or this next chapter of our lives. So as we are identifying that and as we become clear on that, the things that we're ready to release, the things that we need to let go of, the visualization of, in our minds, imagining a rear view mirror, right? And seeing the image of that thing that you are preparing to release, and slowly watching that fade into the distance, slowly watching that get further and further away. So this came up as a message for a client during a session, but I think that it's brilliant. I think that it's a really great way. And energy works through visualization. That's a really great way to change energy or to be intentional about your energy. So that's a really beautiful way to symbolize moving forward, moving away from something, leaving something behind. So you might do a quick meditation where you visualize that, and each thing that you're ready to let go of, you're seeing that get further and further away in that rear view mirror until it completely disappears. And then you might take that a step farther and notice where your car is driving. What is the direction? What have you put into the GPS? What is the vision of what you are driving toward? This is a beautiful time to be really intentional, to put those manifestations out to the universe. This is such a great time to start to put those signals out there, or to continue to put those signals out there as to what you want this next chapter to look like, because who's the author? You are the co-author along with God, the universe, whatever you want to call that, right? So do your part and write the chapter, put that out there. I also had a lot come up in my own life and with the people I'm working with, and I'm just really feeling this in the collective energy of this concept that I love the way that Heather Mayo, some of you guys are familiar with Heather, I love the way that she puts it. She says, I don't do that anymore. And I love that. I'm going to put her info in the details below just because she's great. And so if you don't follow her, you should. She's wonderful. She teaches on a lot of things connected with taking wonderful care of your body and confidence and self-esteem. And she's just amazing. But anyway, she has been talking about, I don't do that anymore. And I love that because like that to me is just capturing this energy right now where we're taking a look at how far we've come, how much we've changed. And I think that there's going to be opportunities this week to go backwards, to fall into old habits, to fall into old patterns. And I think the sooner that we can kind of say to ourselves, or even out loud, or even to other people if we're needing to set boundaries, I don't do that anymore. I think it's incredibly powerful way to say it and to do it, and to just send that signal not only to the person that we're communicating to, and maybe the person we're communicating to is ourselves. So not only to ourselves or to someone else, but also to the universe, because that sends that signal out like, oh, okay, so we're not doing this anymore. We don't have to continue to test this. This person has decided that they don't do this anymore, that this isn't a pattern that they want to repeat. So I think that that's important. I have a lot to say. I'm sorry. I hope this video isn't too long. The next thing is, because I feel this really powerful manifestation energy right now, specifically, what am I magnetizing to me? So this week, I don't know, there's something about being very visual this week where we may feel called to visualize certain things. So I got that image of a magnet and identifying what that magnet is and what it is that we are magnetizing to us. So that may be a really great manifestation strategy to use. So you might even write down or say out loud, I am a magnet for, and finish that sentence, right? You might write several things down. You might repeat the same statement over and over and over again. I am a magnet for. You might write that over and over and over again and fill in the blanks there. And you can also visualize yourself being a magnet and visualize pulling those things into you. So lots of different options, but either way, I really want to encourage you guys to think about, how am I writing that next chapter? What is it that I want to call into my experience? What is it that I am magnetizing to me? And how can I take the pain, the challenges, the difficulties that are showing up, because there absolutely are, how do I take that and alchemize it into something great? So definitely we want to focus on that. There's a lot of gifts though in this energy. I'm telling you what. Let's look at the cards. So we have the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups, right? What are the things that I want to call into my experience? And I really feel like we're getting closer and closer as a collective to being our most authentic selves. We're still working on it, but we're getting closer. And as we become closer to becoming our most authentic selves, we start to get really honest with ourselves about what we really want. And once you get honest with yourself about what you really want, number one, you're going to weed out what you don't want and say, I don't do that anymore, right? I'm not interested in that. I don't want to repeat that pattern anymore. That doesn't work for me anymore. But we also start to put that signal out to the universe as to what it is that we're calling in, right? So this to me is like magnets, pulling in the perfect people, places, and things into our experience that align for us where we are at now in our lives, or where we're at in the very near future in our lives, that are just the right fit. So this can be a soulmate. This can be a person that's just the right fit. This can be, whatever is happening for you in your life. This can be a home that's just the right fit, a job that's just the right fit. Whatever that is for you, maybe it's many things, but I think that we're pulling in a lot of really magical things. The bank account that's just the right fit, right? So many different things. So definitely put our intentions out there. I also feel like there's going to be some beautiful blessings that are these gifts from the universe coming in, showing us that we can have really magical and amazing things in our lives. The next card that we have, speaking of the universe stepping in, is the Six of Swords. Us being supported, us being helped, us being shown that the universe has our back. Watch for signs of that this week. Look for evidence of that this week, because I think that if you can look for it, you will absolutely find it. This is saying we're here to help. And we are helping, and we will help, and we're going to show you that we're helping. Now, I think that it's important to keep in mind that we don't always get helped in the way that we want. We get helped in the way that we need, because people get stuck on that. They're like, well, I asked for this and I didn't get it. Well, maybe it wasn't meant for you, right? We still have to deal with what is meant for us, and we still have to deal with divine timing, and sometimes it's not the right timing. However, I think that if you can put your intentions out there, you're going to start to see that there is support, that there is help, and you don't have to do this alone. the Queen of the Queen of Pentacles, right? This to me is, I thought it was the Empress, but it's the Queen of Pentacles. Similar vibe. The Queen of Pentacles has all of the abundance that she needs. She is really fantastic at being decisive as to how she spends her time. She's really good about spending quality time with people. We might be kind of assessing our resources this week. Who do I want to spend time with? How do I want to be spending my time? We might be getting kind of choosy about that, right? And not just giving without making sure that we're bringing ourselves into balance, without being choosy about that. So this is, it's time to come back to, what are my priorities and how do I have my priorities be reflected in my time and in my energy? Okay, this is going to be really, really key here. I also do feel like this is that validation of the message of, if we can put that magnetic signal out there to the things that we want to call in, we will start to call it in, right? We just have to sit on that throne and let it come to us, or let the inspired actions come to us, the prompts for the actions that we need to take. Because again, keep in mind, this is the time to take action, not later. Don't put it off. This is not a good time to procrastinate, I promise you. The Eight of Pentacles, getting to work, digging deep, making sure that we are investing ourselves in those things that we prioritize, investing ourselves in our work, in our the things that excite us, the things that we like to do, the things that we are building. You know, if you have a business, this is a really great time to really pour yourself into that with passion, with excitement, with work, because what we are putting our time and our energy into, what we are investing in right now, is going to pay off. So continuing to do that, continuing to keep working on it, keep working toward that. We also have the Seven of Cups, all right? So I think that we're going to start to see some options showing up for us in terms of the things that we are manifesting. But here's the thing, is that not all options are the best options. And I think that it's really important. I was just saying in a session earlier today that, like, sometimes the universe will send you a manifestation and we take a look at that and we go, that's not quite what I'm looking for. Return to sender, right? This is return to sender energy. This is raising our standards. This is accepting the best and expecting the best, and understanding that while, of course, I guess what I want to say is, like, we don't want to be settling for less than we deserve and doing something just because somebody else wants that from us, or, we need to be really honest with ourselves about how we are investing our time and our energy right now. We don't have time. We don't have time for that. It's important to prioritize right now and to make decisions that align with this direction that you want to go in, this new chapter that you're moving in. Does this belong in the new chapter, or does this not? The next card that we have here is the Nine of Wands in reverse. So we've been through a lot. We've worked through a lot. And I think that it's really easy to be protective and to not allow ourselves to be vulnerable or to open ourselves up. But I think that this is the time to let ourselves be vulnerable. This is the time to put it out there, to say what we need to say, to do what we need to do, to ask for help where we need it, to let our guard down, to let our armor down, and understand that we are just as powerful without the armor. We don't need the armor. And we are that much more powerful by honoring our vulnerability, by honoring true and deep connection, by allowing ourselves to be open to what the universe wants to bring into our lives, to what's showing up, and to allow ourselves to go with the flow of all of it, trusting in our higher power to lead us exactly where we're supposed to be. Because it's all happening, right? And the last card that we have here is from my deck, and we have the release card. And it says, freedom and breaking out of that which limits you. Let that shit go. So what are you going to let go? What are you going to put in that rearview mirror and release? And what still has a space in your heart? What do you want to allow in your life? What do you want to bring with you into this next chapter? Lots of work for us to do this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have watched all the way through and you're watching this on my YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button below, hit that like button. I always appreciate a comment, a share, a tag, whatever it is that you guys feel called to do. It helps to get the messages out to the people who need to connect with these messages. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon with another video. Take care, guys.